So.
No question. Well, look, we're not gonna belabor the time no much longer. Well, before we start, do you pronounce, is it Jaria?
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Okay, because I wanted to make sure. How you doing? You doing all right today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I also had a season-ending injury too. I heard y'all talking about it earlier. I just got back to my room.
Do you play basketball? What sport was it in?
Yeah, I play basketball, and actually, I have to get my MRI on Thursday for my labrum too. So,
oh man, I'll be praying.
We all gonna keep you in our prayers.
Yeah, I need that.
No worries.
Prayers up for a speedy recovery for sure. Most definitely. Well, look, yeah, we're not gonna belabor the time no much longer. We want to respect your time and I obviously get to the content. And it's gonna be a very, very interpersonal, like personal, like informal type of conversation. So please, like, feel free to stay unmuted. If you got questions throughout all this situation, throughout this PowerPoint presentation, hop right in. You know, Bree and I, we're very open people. We want to make sure that we can help y'all any way that we can. And we'll give y'all an intro. So I'll start off first. Reggie Jennings, right now I'm a coordinator for student development services at TCU, so Texas Christian University. Been here, it's crazy thing, about 3 years. In July, I started off as an intern in athletics, and I'm on the main side of campus. I've been in this role on the main side of campus for about 2 years. Getting my MBA right now from here as well. So former student athlete, I played football for Southeast Missouri State University and played professionally as well for about 1.5 years for some arena football team. So I'm excited to be here, and I'll pass it off to Bree.
My name's Bree. I am a coordinator of executive operations here at the Orange Bowl in South Florida. I've been here for 2 years as of 2 days ago. So I'm going into my 3rd year. And I love it down here. I played basketball at Xavier University up in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I majored in sport management and communications. My main focus has always been executive operations, game operations, stadium operations. So before I got this is actually my first full-time job. So I've been here for 2 years, going into my 3rd. But before that, I took tons of internships just to figure out exactly what I wanted. So been in the sports industry for a little bit, but it's been great so far.
Yes, indeed. So we go to the next slide. Well, first I'm ask this question too. So before we get into the self-reflection, anytime like I have a presentation or talk to people, I like to do temperature checks to see how people are feeling and things of that nature. So a question is this: what type of shoe or brand of shoe describes how you feel today and why? And if you got an answer, just go ahead and say it.
I feel like a Christian Louboutin right now.
I like that.
Okay.
I don't own a pair, by the way. But I feel like that because this is my first, I don't want to say first, but yeah, first kind of interaction in any type of engagement with anything as that takes me a step closer to where I want to be. So I feel like I'm doing something right, you know, and with everything that's been going on, I've been feeling like, man, I just need something that will make me feel like I'm taking another step towards my dream goal, you know, my goals. So that's why I feel like a Christian Louboutin shoe.
I need that.
Yes, and look, and if you did own a pair, that's okay. Like, you better walk in those proudly. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't diminish your goal for anybody else. So love it. Louboutins, red bottoms.
I'll say Nike because I don't know. I'm just doing everything I want right now in this season of my life. So I'm just doing it and put my trust in God.
Love it.
Love that.
Love it. Now, is there a specific kind of, like, you know, we talking like Air Force Ones, like, you know, the all white G phase, like what we talking about? You know, like what we talking about?
I don't know. I'll probably say some running shoes. I feel like I've been constantly just going nonstop right now.
Yeah. Good
Mm.
deal. Good deal.
I was also gonna say that I'm like a running shoe right now because I feel like when I'm wearing my running shoes, it's usually because I'm working out or I'm doing something productive. And today has been really productive. I've been doing some networking, some applying for jobs, apprenticeships. So it's been a good day. So I'm glad to be in this because I just feel like it's just building off of how productive of a day it's been so far. And it's only 12 in the afternoon.
Good. Look, productivity is major, right? We need that. Now, look, Bria, I'm gonna ask you now. This involves everybody. So
Okay.
What type of shoe?
Oh, that's a good one. Let me see. See, I was gonna go with a Nike. But because winning edge, I'm gonna go with an Adidas. Okay, 3 stripes. And I'm gonna say it's a comfort shoe. I'm gonna say it's a comfort shoe because I'm at my desk all day. I'm trying to knock some things out. It's just one of those days where it's just administrative work, all the paperwork that you got to do to get things done, bills, company bills. So I just feel like it's a comfort shoe that I'm being productive, but I'm at my desk and I got to get some things done.
No, I love it. Yeah, I will say this. I didn't know Adidas like shoes were that comfortable. Like I work out on Adidas shoes, like the ones we got from the Winning Edge, par none. Like, so if you haven't got, I know Nike is like the thing, but Adidas, if you're trying to work out, like those shoes are super comfortable. I answer mine real quick. So mine, I guess kind of off topic. Like, I got on a pair of Toms right now, and I'm feeling really just like chill and casual. I got my ankles out today, so I'm feeling good. Even for the Toms, you got your ankles out a little bit. So it's a nice day in Texas, and yeah, I like the little Tom feel right now. So okay, let's go ahead and dive into this self-reflection real quick. So the first one, I want y'all to think about this, and we can go around the room once again. So, are you networking as much as you should be? Right. Just think about that for a second, and then we'll talk about it.
Mariah was already doing some networking today on her productive day, so that's good. But let us know if you are doing as much as you should, and if not, kind of what's preventing you from doing that.
I can go. I was networking today, but I will say that for a while, I probably wasn't networking as much as I should have been because one, I feel like for a lot of student athletes, their goal is to go pro. So you're like, okay, I don't need to worry about networking because I'm just going to try to go pro and I don't need to worry about that. And then it wasn't until my junior year, like my second semester, my junior year, that I decided that that wasn't the route that I wanted to take anymore. So that's when I kind of started focusing on like networking and stuff. But even then, I kind of was passing up some opportunities. I did some networking, but I think I didn't do as much as I could have done. And I think something that prevented me from doing as much as I could have done was kind of just my personality. So I'm kind of shy sometimes, and that's something that I'm really working on, and I've gotten a lot better about it. But yeah, that's what prevented me before. And now I think since I'm about to graduate in less than a month, these past couple of months have been filled with networking. Part of it has been motivated by the fact that graduation is coming up and I need to figure out what I'm doing. But in a way, like, I mean, part of it is the shock of graduation, but it's good because I'm networking a lot now. And like, I feel like every day I'm talking to somebody or I'm looking up a job and trying to see if I know anybody that's connected to it. So I would say now I am, but I used to not.
It's okay. It's never too late to start networking. You can find somebody today, get a job tomorrow. It's never too late. It's never too late to start networking.
Yes, I agree. Now I don't want to pronounce Miss here. Is it Hadassah or Hadasha? How do you pronounce it?
Hadassah.
Hadassah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What's your thoughts?
I'm not. And I would say my reason is I think I'm scared because I don't really know where to start. It's like being scared of the unknown. So I don't know, I really just don't know where to start. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to be, but I just don't know where to start. It's just like, and I go to a great school for telecommunications and journalism, but other than going to class and trying to, pick my teacher's brain, my professor's brains, I just don't know where to start. And I feel like if I try, I'm going to mess up. I don't know. That's my whole thing. That's my hold up.
Good. Okay. Good. This is good info. Jari, how about you?
I would say that I feel like I am networking, but I feel like I can do more. I don't know. I'm kind of I have some guidance, but I don't know if I'm doing enough. I'm going to University of Georgia next year, and I'm just really trying to focus on getting an internship or assistantship. So, yeah, and I really just started networking for real because after basketball season and graduation and stuff. So,
Gotcha. So, kind of like what I wrote down some notes. So, some of the barriers, obviously, we're talking about trying to go pro, but there's been a mindset shift with that. Personality, being scared, and obviously, Jari just mentioned wanting to do more. Right, we're gonna dive into that a little bit as well, and give y'all some personal tips, and I'll even talk about this briefly about my personality. So people look at me nowadays, be like, "Oh, Red, you're so bubbly and energetic." I promise you, 5, 7, 10 years ago, this was not who I was. Believe me when I tell you, you can develop your personality to assist you in what you're trying to do as far as when it comes to networking, informational interviews, and things of that nature, whatever career field you're trying to get into. So don't think that you can't do that, and don't fall for the old wives' tale, this is just who I am. No, you can create who you want to be through intentionality and consistency in that. So, Bree, got anything to add to that at all?
Actually, that's a great point. I'm very, very shy. I'm very quiet. I'm an internal type of person. If you look at my schedule, it's workout, work, go home. That's what I do. But it really took me to get out of my shell and reach out to people and go after people that you think are way out of your league, right? They would never talk to me. They don't even know who I am. And it's what's crazy, and this is the point that I'm going to drive home today, is people love to talk about themselves and they want to feel good. And whether it's a selfish thing or not, they want to feel good that they helped someone else out. So when I say I was doing informational interviews with CEOs, and they were just yeah, and they're just talking about their journey, they're talking about who they are, they're talking about these things, and whether it was applicable to me or not, they were putting me in touch with people that were applicable to me. So I would just say, and that's question number 4, if you have executives or people just in mind, and don't forget, peer-to-peer networking is essential. Me and Reggie, we are best friends. And that's because we were at Game Changers together. We met when I was working in Dallas, and we just stay in touch. So peer-to-peer networking is essential, but don't forget, the people that you think that would never, ever talk to you will definitely talk to you. Commissioners, whatever you guys want to do. You want to talk, I know you said that you wanted to do sportcasting or something. Reach out to those people. And I know it's hard because they're not texting back, but that's okay. Reach out to those people, reach out to the people underneath them. Do your research. So yeah, definitely grow your personality, but don't be scared to reach out to those people because they will eventually talk back.
They definitely will. And I mean, we got 2 hoopers on here. Shoot or shoot, right? You're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you might as well. I can literally go through my LinkedIn and show you how many people I've messaged, professionals, or reached out to, ain't said a word to me at all. But I see them somebody else, post or whatever. I'm like, oh, you see my message though. You're just gonna be on the meet but not respond to me type of thing. So do your best not to take it personal either, right? Just because they don't respond, it don't mean they don't like me or I'm not good enough. Sometimes for people at those levels, sometimes they get a whole bunch of those messages and they filter them out however they filter them out. You never know. Somebody else, 6 degrees of separation, right? You might connect with somebody else in the future who will connect you to them, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? So it's all timing. I want to go back to question 3 real quick and hear from you all. So what are you all doing right now to make yourself the best candidate or just the best person you can be to get you where you want to go, right? So what are some things y'all are doing and have in motion?
Personally, I'm doing an internship right now at my school, and I'm just trying to get as much experience as I can, because like with basketball, I couldn't really get as much experience. And like people ask me like, how much experience do you have? And I'm like, well, I just started doing my first internship this year and stuff like that. And I know the more experience you have, the more the more it looks good on you. And it's a competitive, I want to do sports broadcasting too, and it's a competitive field. And then I'm just trying to be as versatile as I can with like still doing creative video and working cameras and just being open to any position that I can take on.
Good.
I would say I'm just doing a lot of research into the career field that I want to get to. And I personally am looking into like medical sales. So I was planning to do physical therapy, and I did an internship at a physical therapist clinic, and I was like, no, we got to stop this. So I'm not doing that anymore, and I'm looking into like medical sales. So I'm basically just researching a lot of companies, being really open about what exactly my next step looks like, and just trying to set myself up on the right path and figure out what the best way to get my foot in the door is, and then just like networking, and then continuing to just work on like myself as a person, and stuff like that.
Good.
I'm kind of in a mix between both the you girls. I am currently looking for internship opportunities, and doing a lot of research, trying to see just anywhere I can get my foot in the door at this point. Like I said, but it's up and down, because some days I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, so let me just take a day or two, regroup and try again, that kind of stuff. So on the days where I feel like I need a break, I'll just, I'll work on myself. As far as I started meal prepping like 2 weeks ago, so that's been kind of helping me stay organized and I feel more clean that way for whatever reason. But yeah, I think it's just, I lost where I was at, because I was going to go back to Jaria's point, but the whole internship thing, I'm focused on that right now. So
that's good. That's real good. So it's a couple things I heard throughout all that, right? Internships, major. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was in undergrad playing ball, I didn't know what an internship was. Like, I wasn't doing one, because I just thought it was my sport through the summer, and coaches never really even mentioned that, besides working a part-time job to get some money in your pocket. Definitely take advantage of that. And as you see with Mariah, like, she learned from an internship, like, it's not what I want to do. So people always think like, I don't want to choose the wrong internship. It's a win-win if you think about it, because if you choose one, you either find out that you do like it or you don't. And that's a win regardless of which way you look at it, because now you just saved yourself probably time, energy, and years of being in a field that you don't even want to go down and go into. So that's a major key. Research, right? Research is important. But I will say this too. What's that one saying? Paralysis by analysis, right? You don't do your research, but also be decisive in when you're making a decision to go down a specific path, right? Because sometimes, and I'm guilty of it, I'm actually going through it right now. I'm trying to decide between some different career paths, and I'm doing research after research. It's like, Reg, make a decision. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of faith. So I'm like, God, which way you want me to go? Make a decision and roll with it, right? No risk, no reward, right? You just got to keep pushing and going through it. And the meal prepping thing, this is like more of a foundational thing, right? Working on the crust of who you are as a person is going to bleed through into what you do as a professional. So if you're working on that day in and day out, whether it's something small, like you had said about meal prepping, I meal prep every week. It saves you time, energy to do other things and not waste mental space on other things that are important, right? So I think that's definitely impactful. Bree, you got anything?
So like Reggie said, I heard a couple of things. A lot of all of you guys are student athletes. You guys are probably focused on your sport. And like Mariah said, a lot of people think they're going to the league. Usually I say that to a lot of the football players, and I'm like, there's like 100 of you guys. Not all of you guys are gonna make it. So, but just in this case, like if you're playing your sport, a lot of times you're focused on it. But even when you were playing it, you had a packed schedule, practice, lift, school, whatever. And then on top of that, even though you left your sport, you have a lack of support from the athletic department sometimes. So you do, I know nowadays they have the student athlete development, go out, shout out to Reg. But before that, like, there might not be a lot of support there. So you have to take it out on your own. Like Reggie said, a lot of these informational interviews that we'll talk about later and reaching out and networking, a lot of that, it's like 10% getting your foot in the door and just reaching out. And the rest of it is just your personality. You want to make sure it's, you're making a great connection. If you're working on yourself and making sure you have all the research that you have, you're making, decisive decisions, but also taking that risk and preparing yourself for those internships and informational interviews, you'll do good. You'll be fine.
100%. I'll even want to add into this real quick, where it says lack of experience, which we've all run into, current students and former students. Like, all I did was catch a football and tackle grown men. How does that translate to the actual workforce? What I've come to realize over time is there are transferable skills, but the main piece is communication, right? If you can learn to like clearly articulate certain things in a manner, like essentially just selling yourself, they can teach you the rest, honestly. And being in the MBA program and things of that nature, and even considering a career change, that's all it is. Communicating clearly who you are, what you can do, and how that can be of value and asset to whoever you're trying to get an internship from, a job, or connect with, or whatever the case is. So don't ever think that I don't have enough experience, blah, 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 it's gonna be a barrier. Because another piece, when it comes to like job interviews in general, like, yes, they look for, experience to a degree, and if you have a skill set, but a lot of it's just fit, right? Does this person's like personality fit with JoJo that works in IT, or Suzanne that works over in who's our admin assistant, right? So there's a lot of those things you got to put into consideration with that whole hiring process as well. So I want to ask a question to you all, and obviously don't drop no names. We are recording right now. And for your specific program, what you've seen from different teammates or whatever, like what does the support look like from your former or current support staff when it comes to, your coaches and just athletic programs?
I'll say, as far as coaches, I feel like for my program, and I feel like it just goes for a lot of schools, I feel like coaches are very much focused on the sport aspect and the athlete part of student athlete. So for like me personally, like my coaches are great, yeah, but as far as like my next step in life after college and after sport, they're not really that concerned about it. But on the other half, my like student athlete like development people, so like our Thornton Student Athlete Life Center, those people are great, and those people are the reason that I haven't completely like fallen apart in trying to figure out what I'm doing after college. So it's kind of like half and half. Coaches not so much supportive, but student athlete development people very supportive, and we have a really good like group of people in that area at UT. So I'm really thankful for them.
Lovely, good.
My coaching staff, well, my head coach at the beginning of the season, he said, first day of practice, he said, the team is to have a 3.5 GPA. Make it happen. Other than that, it was all about the sport. And like she said, the athlete part of student athlete, but we did have pretty good advisors who actually cared. And almost every time we had the beginning and end of semester meetings, we were asked what we were looking into going into after college. So I thought that was pretty good, and we were cared for outside of our coaching staff.
Good.
Yeah, I would agree with both of them. I feel like I get most of my help from like my advisors or like the Student Life Center, and I don't know. And it's kind of like if you want the help, you got to go get it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Like you have to go get it yourself. And I agree with the coaches thing. I feel like they have a lot of stuff they have to deal with the coaching, and so I get my help from outside of the coaches and stuff.
Great point. I think it's a phenomenal point. Like that's the name. Like just like with y'all sports, that what you earned, you know what I'm saying, your scholarship you earned to play your sport at your school, like there's no handouts, right? So you got to go you got to put that effort forth in doing that. So it's that same mindset that you had when being a student athlete that you got to flip towards a professional realm now, which isn't hard, but sometimes it's kind of, it takes time to adjust that scope of thinking. And I'll add this point too, understanding, and it's going to sound bad, but don't take it in negative ways, like utilizing people for what you need in the season, right? So for example, like with a coach, obviously on the field, on the court, or whatever, or the course, they're gonna help you become a better athlete. After that, there are some coaches who do a great job of like helping you get to where you want to be as a professional, but to a degree, they can be maybe a good reference call for you, right? They may not be able to help you get to or connect you with X, Y, and Z or blah, 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 but they can be somebody, hey, if X, Y, and Z calls, I know my coach can vouch for my character, my work ethic, and things of that nature. So that's just using them in that manner to get where you need to be. And then obviously using student athletic development and other individuals respectfully in a way that can help you get to where you want to go, because they do want to help. So yeah, Bree, you got anything?
No, I agree with everything you said. It is important. Like, I know for me, like I was on the basketball team, none of my teammates were really doing internships or anything. So I was really trying to focus my time, but it's that FOMO, like I want to go here, I want to go there with them, or I'm tired from practice. So there is a lot of waiting till the last minute, like, okay, we got graduation now, I kind of figure out what I'm doing. But if you really focus your time and put a lot of effort into it, you can really go far. So I know sometimes it's hard because you have your teammates and everything, but like Reggie said, like if you utilize your coach, your DOBO would be good, like any of your director of operations people, and then use your student athlete development. Like I think you guys already say you're using your advisors, but use them as a reference or ask them if they know anybody. I think that's a really good one too. Like they may not know anybody in your field, but if you want to be in sports, they can say, I know the student athlete development person at TCU, I can have you reach out to them.
Yeah, no, that's spot on. Let me ask this random question that came to mind. Do you all struggle with seeing other people around you getting internships, or it seems like they're moving far ahead in life? Do you all struggle, I guess, with that comparison kind of situation? Does that make sense?
In the media, yes. But, like if not really, I can't say like personally, no, personally. But I think social media, I have to cut mine off sometimes because it's just like, man, I'm not doing anything with my life right now. So yes and no.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's so funny that you mentioned social media because I literally just started a social media fast yesterday because graduation is in less than a month, and I'm not like super rushed, like I need to be out of Knoxville by the time I graduate, but I just needed to cut it off because right now I just need to be focusing on myself and just figuring things out. But yeah, I don't have a lot of people around me that are super proactive about internships and all that stuff, but I'm just trying to make sure that I got my eggs in order. So yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I don't have too many people around me that's like looking for internships and stuff like that. So it's kind of not to compare myself, but I could get caught up in social media, like she said. So
good. Yeah, no, it's easy. Like I'm good. I've gotten caught up in it before and comparing myself like, man, XYZ doing this or doing that. Like, why am I not at that level, right? And it's an analogy I give a lot of people that's helped me out. Just envision like you're in the car trying to drive to your destination, right? You can't get to your destination efficiently or effectively if you're driving, looking out the passenger side window the entire time, right? It just doesn't work. That's that comparison, looking at other people 24/7. So when you lock in what you got going on and removing various distractions, right? Like you said, Mariah, taking the social media fast is key. And this stuff all obviously boils down to connecting and networking with people and things of that nature. But like I said, the foundation of who you are will help you throughout this entire process. So we'll go ahead and talk about this slide here right now. So don't be toxic, right? That's probably the word of like the 2010s, toxic. Like I hear that word every other day, if not 20 times a day. Professionals who you reach out to, understand that you're young, number one. You know you broke. I was one of them. But that's something, broke baby. I'm broke, right? And looking for a job, right? So it's already like when you reach out, they understand that, right? So here's some keys. You want to focus on creating those authentic relationships, right? People remember how you make them feel, you know what I'm saying? Not what you say to them necessarily. You want to focus on learning from them, learning something new. And we'll talk about maybe how to formulate some questions to start those processes. And it should always, 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 always be a give and take relationship, right? Just like in regular life, when you're, whether with your partner, family member, or friend, it should never be a one-way street. It should always be a two-way street, right? So those are some of the key things you want to obviously know and consider and understand when you're reaching out to people. And I will never forget that second bullet point. Good friend of mine, Will Baggett, he had mentioned that before one time. I was like, man, that's actually pretty deep, you know, because people will remember how you make them feel in a moment, right? Those moments of like conversation. Nobody really remembers if you said like a very impressive word or whatever, but how you make them feel in the moment of comfort. Did you make them feel excited or warm and happy and things of that nature? So, Bree, you got anything to add to that?
I'm actually going to touch on this when we get into informational interviews. But honestly, when I say I bolded and underlined authentic, because when you start, you know, trying to not be yourself, that's when like you mess up. That's when you start stuttering, because you're not being who you are. And if you can't show someone who may potentially hire you who you are, you're probably not going to fit into the organization, because they're basing that hire off of how you are acting in that informational interview. So I always stress being authentic, because if you're a happy, bubbly person and you're smiling a lot in the informational interview, but then you get to the office and you're like an introvert and your doors are always closed, that's not going to mix. So always be professional, always, you know, take an interest in them. But at the end of the day, like, be authentic, be who you are. As long as you're professional, it'll all work out.
Yeah, and I'll tell a quick story real quick. And it's funny. So when I went down to Miami for the first Winning Edge retreat down there, I know I was gonna be in a van with like other people. So I went to the airport. You know, I'm comfortable, right? I'm from Chicago. I had a do-rag on, like flip-flops, and a hoodie. And I get in the van, and Will Baggett's in there, right? Actually, one of the mentors. And we really didn't like even have conversations before all this stuff. So this is like a rough time in my life. I done applied to over 130 jobs, no hits at all, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. So get in the car, having a good conversation. I'm being my authentic self, right? Like I'm just being Reggie. And I told him, I said, yeah, I applied for an internship at TCU. Looking to hear back from probably within a week or so. Do you know this man literally picked his phone up, kid you not, from line or flying. He picked his phone up and called one of the people that interviewed me to ask how it went and like kind of what was going on with it. And first I was shocked that he even did that. I was like, I got a whole do-rag on. You just met me and you're going to like call on my behalf. It's crazy, right? And long story short, he said, look, Reg, I can't tell you what the result's going to be, but it's looking pretty good for you type of thing. And long and behold, I got the internship at TCU. So that is going to show being your authentic self, right? And also just obviously communicating and leveraging those relationships. You never know who knows who and what they can do for you and things of that nature. So I definitely pass it back to Bree. Just want to give you that story.
And just to go off of that, so Will Baggett was actually my mentor. So I was in Winning Edge after Reggie. And so I didn't know anything about Winning Edge. And I was a former athlete. I was just I still haven't had a full-time job yet. I graduated like 3 years ago. Like I was just trying to like make it. And I didn't even work under Will Baggett. I worked under stadium and game operations, a whole different department. And I would go say hi to him every day. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I asked him to do an informational interview with me. I did an informational interview with just about everybody in that building that pertained to what I wanted to do. But I did an informational interview with him. I asked him, can we have a lunch? Treated him to lunch, like not to like suck up with him, but I really wanted to spend time with this man because I knew that he did operations. I knew he had a background. So I wanted to get to know him a little bit more. And lo and behold, he called Kareem and was like, hey, I have someone who'll be an amazing candidate for Winning Edge. And mind you, Winning Edge is for like student athletes, like current. And I've been out for like 2 years. And Kareem was like, perfect, bring her in. And now I've been doing like webinars like this. And I actually got my full-time job here because of that informational interview and just being my authentic self. So when I say like when you go and reach out to people and they're genuine people, you will get to where you're going. Whether it's like a few steps later or like directly, you're gonna get to where you're going. And with that, I just want to lead right into informational interviews. And I don't want to go over our time limit here. So I do want to make sure you get these key points and things that have helped me and Reggie get to where we are now. So Mariah already touched on it, but it is so important once you do that initial ask of an informational interview. And honestly, I didn't even put how to ask for an informational interview because once you get their contact, you literally, and please just email it to them, like don't text them unless it's like that type of relationship. But if you email them, just say, hello, my name is so-and-so, I'm a student athlete here. I was interested in this career. I would love to have a 10 to 15 minute conversation with you in regards to your journey and how you got there. And 10, 15 minutes, people look at that and be like, oh yeah, I got 10 to 15 minutes of my day. That's 10 of my lunch. Like, that's no problem. When you start doing like a 30-minute, hour, that's when they're like, like if you do an initial 10 to 15 minute interview, sometimes it goes over. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I have time, keep going. But that initial interview, if you do a 10 to 15 minute interview and just know and give them like a schedule, they'll say yes. As soon as they see that email, they'll say yes. But research. And what does this mean? Like this means you Google them, you LinkedIn them, you learn everything about them. And then you find a commonality. That's that first bullet point. Find out what you have in common with them. I did an informational interview with somebody and I was talking to them and they were like, oh yeah. And one time, I used to live in North Carolina. I was like, oh, I was born in Fayetteville. Like, I don't remember that. I was 1 year old. I don't know anything about North Carolina. I left after I was 1, but just simple commonalities like that make you interesting, right? Now you have something in common. So if you do that research, you can find things and it could be 6 degrees or you can say, oh, I used to go here and there and there. But if you find one thing in common that makes you have a connection with that person, they want to talk to you more. After you do that initial research on them, take notes so you can bring it up in the informational interview. Do not ask them, hey, so tell me about your journey. How'd you get here? You should already know all of that. You've done your research. You should already know everything about their journey. Go ahead and just say, hey, I saw that you went to Ball State and you played a year of basketball. Tell me how that went. What happened? Or, hey, can you tell me how your time at Ball State was? That will show, okay, so they know all about me. And I mean, don't do it on a starter tip, like, oh, I also saw this and I also saw that. Like, don't do that, but definitely research their journey so they don't have to use your 10 minutes of them just being like, I also worked here when I was 12 and da-da-da. You already know everything. Go in and ask very specific questions. And have 7 to 10 deep questions ready on deck. So you already have like the normal, tell me about your career path, or don't do that, but like, hey, tell me about this time in this organization, how did that go? But make sure you have 10 deep ones as well that kind of go past the surface of just normal, like, what's the culture like? Like, make sure you have some more than that. Reggie, do you have anything?
No, I think that's great. I like going back. I'm going to harp on this. You all going to be tired of me saying this. It's true. It's communication. Like, find you a book on proper communicating with individuals. There will be nothing in life you can't do. I can talk to a brick wall if I wanted to, and people think, oh, you're having a good conversation. Like, if you can master that skill set, this will become a breeze. And the more you do these, it's like riding a bike, walking through the park. So.
Yes. And I know two of you guys want to do sports broadcasting. So that alone will really help you speak and talk appropriately. But email etiquette, if you guys don't know that, please let me know. I will sit here and have a mock interview with you. I will sit here and give you a template to write an email. Don't start an email with, hey, hi, like, don't do that. Hello, Mr. So-and-so, comma, space, start your email. Like, I will go through anything. That's what we're here for. We will go through anything with you guys to make sure you are setting yourself up for success, but definitely communication for sure. So you got the interview, you did the interview, you already prepped yourself, you did your research, you came prepared, you asked your questions. It was a great interview, you feel confident. Right after, and I'm taking right after, within 24 hours, you send them a thank you email. Don't wait, don't forget. Right after, you send them a thank you email. And it has to be sincere. Like, if you're just like, thank you for your time, I really appreciate it, send, they're gonna be like, all right. Like, okay, that was a waste of my time. You send a very heartfelt thank you email saying, his time is valuable. They didn't have to. They got tons of other things they have to do. You tell them, hey, thank you so much I really appreciate you spending this time with me. I learned so much and be specific. What did you learn in that informational interview? I loved when you gave me advice about this. I love that you talked to me about that. That alone will say, okay, she was intent, she was listening, and she's applying whatever I taught her to her life right now. And then after that, and I do it right after because I'll forget to send a letter. So right after that, I sit there, and whether it's a company letter or you can go to the dollar store, they have like thank you little cards for $1, and you just handwrite. Don't copy what you sent in the email. Don't do that. Do another thank you. And just say, again, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. And put it in the snail mail. Put a little 25-cent sticker. I think stickers are like 55 cents now. But it used to be 25 cents. Put the little sticker on there, send a snail mail. A tip, because this is what I did. And I actually got that coffee at Starbucks with him during the Super Bowl here in Miami. This guy who works for the Rams, great guy. We're actually really good friends now. I did an informational interview with him. I sent him my thank you letter, and then I put a little $10 Starbucks card. And I said, I would love to look forward to meet with you again, maybe over some coffee. Please let me know. I'll stay in touch. Sent it. He came down here from Miami for the Super Bowl. We had a nice talk. There's some jobs opening up at the Rams. I love my job here, but there's like, he reached out, he talks and stuff like that. So that's just a little start tip. You don't have to do it. I know we're kind of broke right now, COVID and everything, but it's just a start tip. Reggie, do you have anything to add to that one?
No, I was going to say, look, if you can't do it, it's okay. Reg ain't never put $10 in no envelope. Well, mind you, my handwriting's terrible too, so I stick with the emails because they be like, what is he saying? So do what's best for you in your situation. So no, that's spot on.
Yeah. I know we're a little bit over, so if anybody has to hop off, let me know. Just go ahead and do that. But we're gonna wrap it up here in a second. So the do's and don'ts. This will be really quick. Do not email these people and reach out to them for an informational interview if they are in the busiest season of their life. If you want to reach out to a coach or a a sports broadcaster, and they're doing March Madness, I wouldn't reach out to them during March Madness. It just won't work out for you. And people do it to me all the time. They want to do an informational interview, and I'm putting on a national championship game. And I'm like, I just delete it. I don't even look at it because I'm like, there's no way I can do that. And then do not reach out to them. And then if you don't hear back from them in a week, like don't follow up again. Like they most likely saw it and it got buried under some emails or something. That doesn't mean you can't reach out to them again, but just don't do it so quickly. They saw it. Trust me, they definitely saw it. Wait to the next, to the next season. Maybe it's a holiday. Maybe it's a, like something like that. Wait till that time to reach out again. If you bombard them, they're going to get annoyed. And that's okay. Don't take it personally. Like you're going after what you want. You never take that personally. And don't either email them with like no substance. Like come prepared. Like say it. This is what I want. I would love for you to help me here, or I would love to do an information interview because of this, and that. Don't be like, I love some time of your day. If you have some, let me know. Give them a time. Do you have a time next week that I'm flexible? Do you have a time next week to sit down and talk to me? Do you have some time next week to get some coffee? I know it's COVID, but whatever. Give them some substance to go off of. Reggie, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, it's real quick. That's all spot on. And another trick that I utilize is obviously majority of people are on social media. So say for instance, you didn't get their attention on LinkedIn. I'm not telling you to go DM them on like Instagram or Twitter, but like engage with their content, right? If you engage with their content, they see who like their stuff, who retweet their things, or like retweet with a quote, like engage with it. That way your name's like in their mind over time. I've utilized that myself, and I've informed others to do that as well, because the more you can stay at the forefront of somebody's mind, the better that is for you throughout your career and when you're trying to crack to whatever industry you're trying to get into. So spot on.
And it actually leads into this one, being forefront. So these are the things that you should do when you reach out. If their organization is in the news, email them. Hey, congratulations on winning this, and that. Congratulations on being the AD of the year. Congratulations on a good season. Send it. And even if you reached out and they didn't even respond to you about the informational interview, you are back on the top of their email list with your name saying, hey, congratulations. I really appreciate it, coach, blah, blah, blah. And that goes for even if you had the informational interview. This is networking. Now you got to stay connected with them. They're going to forget about you if you don't reach out until you need something from them. So this is about doing it and consistently so that you are on top of mind. So if a job pops up, they're like, you know what, there was this kid that was really passionate about sports broadcasting or really passionate about medical sales. Like that, they're gonna be like, there was a kid, what was her name? And then just email, boom, 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 boom. Like, oh yeah, and then they reach out to you. I've had it done for this job here. My CEO reached out to the CEO at the college football playoff and was like, there was a kid that I informational interviewed with. Do you remember her name? Is she any good? Automatically. And that's how I got the job here. So if any compliments, small or big, any major holidays, hey, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. Those go a long way because it means you were thinking about them. And then, there was a whole pandemic. So maybe check in on them. Like, hey, I hope you guys are, doing well in these unprecedented times. I wish you and your student athletes well, or I wish you and your organization well. That alone says that you're a genuine person. It says that you are thinking about them. And also this makes them think about you. So that's whether you get the informational interview or not, keep reaching out, but in an appropriate amount of time, like Thanksgiving, holidays, achievements, pandemic, those type of things.
That's good. That's real good. Now we go to let's go to the Greenwood slide. We'll make sure we leave at least a little room for some questions. So we're going to talk about Greenwood X. This is a platform that Winning Edge uses to connect individuals with different people to help with information interviews, resume critiques, things of that nature. So he goes to the next slide, Bree.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. So like I just said, you connect with industry professionals. You're starting that process of building relationships with them, right? This is a good way and good place to start to get practice, right? You can follow up with them on LinkedIn and things of that nature. So Corinne told us to give y'all an assignment. Now listen, I'm not the professor. She is. So y'all got to do this. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at us. So we want you all to meet with a minimum of like 2 professionals, right? And if you want, you can start right here, right? We're on LinkedIn, things of that nature. And I just want to echo this as well. We're here to help, we're going to keep it 100 with you from start to finish. So please reach out, any questions y'all got. I don't care if it's today, tomorrow, 6 months from now, a year from now, whatever. And I'm going to actually, let me see, I had it pulled up, so let me share my screen real quick.
Yeah, no, stop. There you go.
Perfect. I just want y'all to see the platform, so that way when you see it, it's not anything like out of the ordinary. So this is kind of what it'll look like once you log in. There's a network place on my network. It'll be obviously be in this portal. And then, yes, you see this, my name, Bree's name, and then other people as well. There's former game changers in here as well. And you can set up a meeting with them, right? So see whoever's available. Interview preparation. Let's see what's resume review. If you're trying to get into college sports admin, player development, professional sports front office, talent brand manager, like you name it, right? That stuff is on here. So utilize this platform, Greenwood X. Bree, can you share the screen again? Thanks. So, and if you need help trying to get it to work, once again, reach out to us or hit the email info@winningedgeleadership.org, and they will assist with that as well. So other than that, we go to the next slides real quick. I want to make sure we leave at least 5 minutes for, yeah, Kareem put that in there. Let's get the opportunity. That's hilarious. I don't know why. Oh yeah, so this is our social media, like I said, follow us, like our respective follow ratio. So I will follow you back, so don't worry about that. And I know Bree does too. So LinkedIn, Twitter, IG, hit us up. We're here to help. We can even show you as well, because I know I get this question a lot about how to be yourself, but also have a professional like social media presence, if that makes sense. I had to transition myself from being a football player to a professional. I did that. My former
Reggie's profile. Don't look at Reggie's profile. He's good at it.
I had to flip it. Like if you seen Reggie Montana, like that was me in undergrad. Like it's just Reggie Jennings now, you know. So if you need help with that, let me know. Let us know, and things of that nature. But yeah, we got time. Like, what questions y'all got? We've been talking probably for the past like 20 minutes. We want to hear from you. What questions y'all got?
So how do you like become a part of the Winning Edge? Because I know like before y'all used to do like conferences and stuff like that. How do you the team?
Yeah, so that's a application process to be a part of a cohort, right? Now they're always going to have different I guess webinars, things of that nature, meetups and things. I know they did some stuff in LA as well, but the actual like cohorts that Bree and myself were a part of, we applied for those. There's a process you have to go through to actually go to that specific like weekend retreat, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
For the X though, right?
Oh, Greenwood X, yes. So there is a login, and I have to ask Kareen about that.
So Kareen is actually going to send it out to you guys after this. I don't know if she's going to do it right after this, but like probably tomorrow she will send out this, and I will actually be attaching a list of informational interview questions that you guys can use when you do reach out to people for informational interviews. And then a lot of Greenwood X, like how to log in, how to like utilize it and everything. Mariah, I know Greenwood X looks a little bit on the sports side, but there are a lot of people on there that may have connections for you as well. So definitely utilize it as well. So for the Greenwood X, she will actually send out all the links and everything for you, and then you can log in from there and connect with us.
Yeah, good question. What other questions y'all got?
I have another. So what like the interviews? What are we supposed to be at? I guess she said she's gonna send us, but like, why should we have these type of interviews, and like, who should we do them with, if that makes sense? Like for me, I'm trying to find an assistantship. Should I have these informational interviews with these people, or like should I just have them with people that I'm trying to build with and network with?
Yes. Yes. So definitely network with people within the department that you really want to go to. And that doesn't mean like I want a specific assistantship at I don't know, UCLA with this person. Like maybe it's not there. Maybe it's at Boston College. Maybe it's at, I don't know, Xavier University. Like go, whatever your field is, you should network with people within that field. And some people outside that field, they may know somebody that you need to know. And you want to have questions, because what's going to happen is you're going to get on the call, and then he or she, will be like, okay, so tell me about yourself. And you'll have a good 5 minutes of saying, hey, this is what I do, this is what I like, this is what I've done, blah. And then he'll go into his little, this is what I do, this is what I've done, blah. And then it's like this awkward moment of like 10 more minutes with just like nothing. And they're expecting you to fill that in because you called that meeting. So that's why we ask you to come with questions, because that's when you're like, because you reached out to them saying, hey, I would love to connect with you, but what are you connecting on? That's that substance that we're talking about. So definitely have those questions ready to go. And sometimes it's just an authentic relationship and y'all just match, y'all just going back and forth. Sometimes it's like this awkward, just, we don't know each other, but we're sitting on Zoom, So definitely have those questions, and definitely network with people that are within that industry that you're looking to do, or like maybe like 2 degree separation. And those people will help you get to where you're going.
Thank you.
Of course.
I have a question. So when you guys first came out of college, I don't know how much like experience you guys had as far as internships and stuff, but did you guys find that like most of your opportunities for like employment after college came from your connections, compared to like Reggie? I know you said you applied for 100+ jobs and didn't hear anything. And I just wanted to know if that, like, if you feel like your connections are what helped you most, because like I'm about to graduate and I like am applying for like apprenticeships and like entry-level jobs. But one thing that's kind of frustrating is that as a student athlete, I've had a couple internships, but nothing related to this field, since I just decided recently that this was what I wanted to get into. And I guess it's just frustrating when you're filling out applications online, because all they see is like recent college grad, no experience. Like they see my resume, but I feel like I don't get a chance to like let them meet me and like tell them about like what I can bring to the table. So it almost just makes me wonder if like opportunities are going to come more from connections than from filling out a bunch of online applications, knowing that I don't have the experience that they're probably looking for or that other candidates would have.
Yeah, I say this, like, yes, connections help. Like that's the gateway, that's the gatekeeper, right? The connection that gets you, it almost eliminates like one step, for lack of a better term. Now, I've heard this too, and I find it to be true. Early on in your career, you're gonna be applying for jobs, but the further you get in your career, the less applying you'll do and more, hey, Mariah, I got this opportunity. What you think about it, type of thing. So you'll see that as you progress down the line. Now, and we can talk if you need to, like offline, about how to create a resume or sell yourself on that piece of paper, so that way you can at least get to the interview and then sell yourself again, right? That's the barrier at times, right? And it's all about, well, I'll say this first. When you send your resume like online, there's a system that filters through everything, right? And if there's not like certain keywords that match up with it, it's going to spit it out and they'll never get to a physical person. It just got to a system. So that's why it's critical to obviously information interview people, because they can pull your resume out of that system, and a physical human has it. And if you don't get that information interview, that's when your resume has to be, really crispy and line up with that job description, with certain keywords. And it takes a certain skill set to find that, but it's not hard to get you through that. And then you'll be able to get through to the next stage. So I just want to encourage you, keep pushing. All you need is one yes. That's all you need. Go ahead, Bree.
2 things. If you take keywords from the job description and put it in your resume, so let's say they're like sales experience, right? You can take sales and say like whatever's on your resume, you can like maneuver your wording. Don't lie, but maneuver your wording to like really highlight what job is highlighting in the job description. So if you feel like you have experience or translating skills to go for that position, go ahead, read that job description, see what they're looking for, take those keywords, put it in your resume. Just work them in, because you are qualified for that job. They just need to know that. And also the only other part was like, sometimes like the job that you're looking to do and like the jobs that you would be getting, they don't line up. So for me, like maybe there's a correlation between athletic training and the medical sales. Like what is your steps? Like I would probably like plan those steps out. Like how could you connect where you are to where you're going, and then follow those steps? So maybe it's, the informational interviews with big time corporations, and can I shadow you? I think that's a really good question in informational interviews is, can I shadow you for a day? Can I shadow you for a week? Is there any way that you need an assistant? Like, don't beg for a job, but, offer your services, because at this point you're looking for some experience.
So do you guys find that you kind of tweak your resume for every application you're sending?
Absolutely.
It's frustrating, but yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. No problem. Any other questions? And if you don't got any, that's fine. Because look, connect with us as we can get more specific about your, lane you're trying to go down, and give you some tips and tricks on that. So if nothing else, we appreciate y'all honestly for taking the time out of your day. Sorry we went over 5 minutes, but I guess it was a good conversation from start to finish. So yes. Bree, want to close out?
We can send this PowerPoint out with the informational interview questions and the Greenwood X information. Again, connect with us. I'm here. I've done just in my job, like we have interns here in the building, and I look at their resumes. I do have informational interviews with them to see where they want to go. So please connect with us. We're here to help you. We're here to just make you the best candidate for the job. And it's not just us. Corinne has just tons of us. There's tons of game changers who may be in the field that you're looking for. And not all of them, actually a lot of them are not in the sports realm. Like I know me and Reggie are, but some of them are in the medical field. Some of them are in the nonprofit field. Some people are in all these different fields, including broadcasting. So please reach out to us. We will connect you to the right person, or we will help you with whatever you need to build you to be the best candidate possible.
Most definitely. Oh, and then Corinne said she wanted a picture of us. Now, look, she wants to do it for the gram. I was like, I need a haircut, but that's fine, I guess. So if y'all comfortable with that.
Reggie, you know how to do that?
Yeah, I'll do it on my, hold on 1 second. Let me clear this out. Boom. Oh, yeah. Okay, everybody get IG ready. All right. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, good deal.
Appreciate we can hear it. Perfect. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, like I said, reach out to us. If you reach out, you can honestly, I'll probably give you my cell phone number as well in the email, because y'all can just text me at this point. We family now. So y'all can just text me, email me, whatever you guys need. We'll be here. But thank you so much for coming out. And if y'all need anything, let us know.
Yes, appreciate y'all. See y'all later.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.